What's up, Cavalier Nation? The Cavalier Connection is back tonight with a live show to talk basketball. How are you doing tonight, Jay? Jay's with me. I'm
doing
Jeff.
great. Christmas Eve,
Christmas
and
Eve.
ready to talk a little basketball while it's fresh on the mind. We'll get a little break after this, but lots to talk about.
Yeah, all those great listeners out there. I know somebody can help me out. I was trying to get a little nice little Christmas music jumping for the intro tonight, and I can't get nothing downloaded.
Anything did the intro play, Jeff? I did not see it on my end. It said intro failed to play or video failed to play.
Oh, it played.
Okay, I was looking for it.
You may have some technical difficulties over there. Your screen's green too.
Is it?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, Jay's with me tonight here as we talk about the Who's basketball. Wanted to talk about what is our floor, what is our ceiling. Before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by our fine friends over at Mincer's. Time's running out. If you want to get your Christmas gift, you got one day. I'm gonna just tell it to you just like that. You got to go into Mincer's UVA Sportswear in Charlottesville tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure their hours, go to the website, check their hours. I'm pretty sure they are adjusted hours. I think they're open maybe 10 to 6. Two convenient locations, one in Charlottesville at the corner and the other at Stonefield, which of course offers your free and easy parking. I finished my Christmas shopping, Jay, and I got to tell you, Mincer's helped me out quite a bit. And
yes. And as good as their shipping is, you better go into the store tomorrow.
No, you're not going
to get it before Christmas if you need it.
No. So I know there's some guys out there who probably waited to the last minute. In fact, friend of the show or part of the show, Jack, is out doing it right now. But don't miss out your opportunity to spoil the UVA fan in your life with a gift from Mincer's, a family tradition since 1948. It's time for this week's Mincer's Moment of the Week.
Craig gets it in the names. Looks for Hunter. Look at the tie the game. 11.1. They don't call a foul. Timeout.
Look at that. I mean, Wemby looks like a young giraffe just getting knocked down by Daddy Elephant.
I mean, get out of here, Wemby. That's Virginia, some of Virginia's finest right there. DeAndre Hunter. Sometimes you just got to go. You just got to go with a former Virginia star.
It's a classic.
A national champion.
Jeff, do you know what I liked about that video?
What's that?
Bob Rathbun on the call.
Oh, yeah.
Going back to the old Raycom on ACC Saturday afternoon or, Wednesday, Thursday night games. That man is classic ACC voice. I love listening to the Hawks when he calls.
Yep. Well, I'm going to tell you something about the Who's right now. The Virginia Cavaliers could use a DeAndre Hunter. They could definitely use a player. You don't have to have his name, but somebody, the guy with the swag who's willing to go in and slam down on a 7'4" center, and not only slam down on him, stand over the top of him for a quick minute and let him know what the heck just happened.
Yeah.
We need one of those kind of guys. The Who's squeaked out one with Americans 63-58. Thank God Elijah Saunders came to play a little bit. 21 points and 8 rebounds. Other than that, I mean, just a squeaker. I watched the game. If you haven't figured out yet, Jay and I are both Redskins / Commander fans as well. And we're sitting in a situation playing the Eagles where playoffs were on the line. So I was tuned into both at the same time. I had the basketball on to the left of me, the football to the right of me, and following along with both. But it was definitely an ugly game. What was our biggest lead in that? 8?
I was gonna say 7 is what I was thinking, but
7?
it could have been 8. I had the game. I didn't start the game till about 6:30, and I had to stay off of all social medias. I couldn't even really look at my phone to like check anything because a notification would pop up, and I was afraid it would ruin the game for me as I had it recorded. This year's team ain't worth missing a Commander game for, or even setting up a second screen. I'll be honest, it's a little bit depressing.
Yeah, no, I have to say the Redskin game was on the big screen and the Virginia game was on the laptop next to me. But I had to tune in. I wanted to see what we're gonna do. You expected. I don't even remember what my final score prediction was, but it was something like a 17-point
15,
win.
I think it was around 15.
I expect Virginia to play American and beat them. I think North Carolina beat them this year by what, 50?
I didn't see their score with them.
North Carolina beat them by close to 50. But this is the Virginia team you're going to look at from game to game, week to week. It don't matter if it's American or if it's SMU. It does matter if you're playing Duke or probably North Carolina or Clemson. But other than that, I think this is what we're looking at. IMAC, and let me pull up my stats now. Once again, he was 3 for 8 from 3, 4 for 10, only 10 shot attempts, 11 points. I don't know. What are your initial thoughts from that game, Jay?
Just again disappointed. I'm watching the game assuming that we won, and as it got down, I think we were down 4 with maybe 5 or 6 minutes left in the game. I'm thinking, are we really going to lose this game? Like, is this really going to happen? And Saunders, here's a bright spot. In years past, when we would have a lead, we had no one pretty much since the 19 championship team that you could say, all right, we're just going to send them to the line and the game's over. And it appears as if Saunders is that guy. So maybe we will win a few of the closer games where free throw troubles in the past have just bit us so hard. Think about the NC State game last year. We're playing for the ACC title if we could make a free throw. And that's IMAC. And then IMAC goes to the line yesterday. I think he was 0 for 2. Let's see.
He was 0 for 2.
0 for 2 from the free throw line. I mean, the guy's a knockdown shooter and 0 for 2 from the free throw line. And when we needed him, I think we might have been trailing at that point when he missed those. So Saunders, he's been up and down, and that was one of those games where he was up 21 points, 8 boards, 2 assists. I'm not sure exactly. Like, I didn't like the fact that Robinson didn't take off the warm-ups.
Yes.
I don't understand it, Joe.
I can't get it.
What does the kid got to do to play? I mean, he goes in the game, and he's an instant impact defensive player. Lockdown rebounder. And yet we're out there playing guys like Buchanan, who, I'm sorry, I don't want to see Buchanan on the floor. I'm to the point where he's an 8th or 9th guy. Like,
when there's foul trouble,
where I want to see Sharma, Murray, McNeely, Day, Saunders, Kofi, and then that's about it. That's about it. And Robinson.
Right.
So, I mean, 7 or 8 guys, and notice I didn't say Rhodey. I don't want to see Rhodey on the floor. I know he had some solid games, and to me, I don't want to see it, Joe. I don't want to see Rhodey on the floor. He can't handle pressure. He can't shoot unless he's completely wide open. And then we sat Day down the stretch. I don't get it, Joe. I don't get Sanchez. Now, again, he's at practice every day. I'm not. But what are you seeing different? Like, what are you like? Kofi went from being this confident first-year player. He needs to be out there and I don't think I named him, so that was a mistake on my part. If I
did name him.
Okay, okay. But he was very confident shooting the ball from 3 early in the year. Yesterday, they just basically laid off of him and gave him threes, and he didn't even attempt one.
He hesitates. I don't know if he's been told not to shoot him, because he hesitates when he shoots him now, even when he does take them, and he just needs to catch it and shoot it.
Yeah, he's one of our best options.
Yeah.
I mean, offensively, he is a top option. I mean, I look at him and Saunders very similarly. Saunders has probably got a little more of a green light just because of experience and things like that. He's probably a little bit more trusted than Kofi. But man, I mean, that kid's super talented. Just let him play. I mean, It looks like he's being held back, and he still finished 6.7 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals. He fills out the stat sheet. But Jeff, I'm going to tell you right now, man, we're talking floor and ceiling. First of all, before we go any further, let's hear your floor and ceiling. If you're listening, what do you think the floor is? What is the ceiling? And then where do you think they finish? Because to me, the floor and the ceiling aren't that far apart, and they're not very high. Like, I'm talking about, when you watch like Elf and you go into the quarters that the elves live in, like it's a very low ceiling, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I don't know. My biggest, real quick, I did want to mention Tay Murray played really well on Sunday as well. Thank God for Tay Murray. 3 for 4 from 3. He finished with 13 points. He actually only 2 foul shots, but actually made both his foul shots too, something he hasn't done in the past. McNeely 0 for 2, Kofi 0 for 2 from the line. Just disappointing. I'm just disappointed in the lack of playing time for Robinson. I'm with you on the Buchanan thing. I don't know. I don't know what Sanchez's plans are. I don't know what's going on at practice. This team is not a tournament team.
Not a chance.
And so I could understand at least if Sanchez thought if this is his job and he's going to get this job, that we're just getting playing experience, and Buchanan needs the experience on the floor, because this year is not going to be the year. So the only thing you can do is develop. He's young, but so is Robinson. We need to get Robinson out there. Saunders, this is it for Saunders, right?
This is it.
So
He's
other than
be
Saunders,
thinking, man, I picked the wrong year to come to Virginia.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy.
Other than Saunders and Murray, everybody would be eligible to come back. If I'm Robinson, I'm getting the heck out of Dodge. But as you look at the team and you think about how this is going, like, is Sanchez going to be the guy? I think you said via text, we were texting and you were saying, and I'm in agreement. Tony Bennett was a lifetime deal. You leave when you want to leave. Tony Bennett's not there now. Number one, what is this team with Tony Bennett? If Tony Bennett was still coaching, is this team, they're sitting in at 7-5. Have they won any more games? We said potentially, maybe one more. Maybe SMU, we could say.
Maybe Memphis. Maybe they figure out how to win that game at home.
Yeah.
Maybe SMU. Maybe they've got 2 more. Or maybe they don't.
I don't think that Tony Bennett being here is going to – I think that the team will look a little better defensively, because they're just not sharp defensively at all. No. But guys like Kofi, I don't know if Kofi's – because, Kofi's trying to figure this defense out as it is. I don't know under Tony Bennett if he's getting any time. You know how that one would go. And then I'm sure he would have ran Rhodey out there for sure. Day will play under his system. McNeely, of course. Saunders would have played. I mean,
he played Blake last year. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Kofi, I would have expected to at least get that.
Maybe, but if you look at the defense, he's playing like he's late a lot, and that's another thing. I don't think we have the skill to play that pack line. Like, we need to make some adjustments on defense. We can't
just play pack line. That's
correct, right? I don't know. I just don't see the fire in Sanchez. Bennett Bennett could be a fiery guy over there, and I'm not saying you have to be rah-rah. I just don't see the fire on the sideline or with this team. McNeely can't get his shot. Day only shot the ball 4 times. Rhodey put up 9 shots. That's not who we want shooting the ball a whole heck of a lot.
McNeely, once again, look, I think McNeely is probably the nicest young man that you'll ever meet. And I'm basing that off of, Jonathan Cotton and, all the stuff that he posts about McNeely. But, man, all right, so we talk about this a lot with the football team. And, I mean, we've heard it from, Covington, T-Cove and Ball Hawk. They need more dogs on the football team. Man, this team ain't got no dog.
The closest thing to a dog they have is Saunders and I believe Ames.
I was gonna say Day. Yeah.
Like other than that, these guys Saunders has an edge to him. Now Saunders has an edge to him. He'll talk some crap out there on the floor. But I mean, TJ Power was a 5-star coming out of high school.
That's why stars shouldn't mean hardly anything.
And that's why Bennett won without that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, good God, man. TJ Power has just been such a disappointment. I had high expectations that he could potentially, we even talked before the season started, he could be one of the guys to potentially lead the team in scoring.
Yeah.
He played 4 minutes on Sunday. And I mean,
you got to wonder, a guy like him, what did we give him to come? I'm assuming at this point, all these guys are getting something money-wise because of the portal that come in. Like, I don't know if you saw this is a little bit of a change of subject, but if the reports are true, the kid that went to Duke, the number 1 quarterback in the portal from, I want to say it was A&M maybe, or no, Tulane. I'm sorry, Tulane. Did you see the report of what they gave him?
I did not.
2 years, $8 million.
Gosh.
He's going to make more at Duke playing football than he would even if he went to the NFL and signed a rookie deal.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to basketball, I mean, we're not getting enough bang for the buck on the guys we brought in. Saunders is probably the best player on the team. But other than that, man, we're just not, Day-Day's not getting the opportunities. I don't believe that he should. To me, he's a 32, 33 minute a player, a game player. IMAX should be a 37, 38 minute player. Saunders should be a 35 to 38 minute player. I mean, there's not a lot of minutes that I'd give outside because you can't compete. The depth is so bad. You can't. As soon as they come out, when Blake Buchanan is in the game, forget about it. He is a zero factor. And as I've said, I'm going to bring up a name of this person who's not real, Christian Bliss. He does not exist. He is not a real person. I've said that from day. He is not. He's a hologram. He ain't around. He ain't on the team. I'll believe him when he steps foot on the court one time. We have no depth, playable depth. I thought we had 10 guys that could play. We don't have 5 hardly.
Yeah. But then you have a big man sitting there, just not even stepping on the floor. Buchanan played 15 minutes. And you got Robinson just sitting there, like does not step on the floor. And every time that guy has come on the floor, he's had an impact.
Yeah. Good things happen.
Yeah.
He's not he's not going to be your best player, but he is a guy who, if he plays his role, he can play it very well and be an important part of a good team.
And he could potentially be, like the screen setters to potentially get McNeely open, that big body at the top.
Yeah.
Because we aren't setting those hard screens. And then
he doesn't run off of them hard enough anyway.
He doesn't run off of them like our Kyle guys did, who was pretty much almost making contact as he was running through those screens. But Yeah, I mean, I know you pretty much handled the social media aspect, and I know you posted a sad day for UVA when the transfer portal in football is our top thing going on right now. It is. I just can't. I was excited for basketball season. You know, I'm tuned in every game. 7-5. We got 19 games to go.
I need an advent calendar till baseball season.
Baseball and lacrosse. We got NC State on New Year's Eve, Louisville, and then that's when we take that West Coast swing to at Cal and at Stanford. That's the next 4 games before we come back home and get SMU again. I think. What do you play in the ACC now? How many ACC games do you play?
20.
20. I see Virginia. We're sitting at 7-5, 0-1 in the conference. I could see us anywhere from 6-14 in the conference to maybe at best 10-10. Just because we could come out, this team has shown. We played Villanova, and I mean we just lit the scoreboard up against them. We played Memphis. We played a good half of basketball. That's a ranked basketball team. We played tough with Tennessee for a half. It wasn't pretty, and Tennessee you felt like was up by 14 or so, but it was 1. So we're gonna find some times where we're gonna look a little better than we have, and then and shots are falling, and then there's gonna be games that are just pathetic. And I would expect some of these guys, you can't do anything. You can't get any worse. For some of these guys, and I'll harp on your guy Rhodey for a minute, and he's more down than up, but he'll come out one game and I mean he'll hit you 3 threes and score 14 for you or something, and that's the game you win. And then he'll come out and he'll score 2, and he'll turn the ball over 7 times, and they'll still have him bringing the ball down the floor, and I don't get it. His ball handling skills, good God.
They're not ACC.
It looks like me bringing the ball down the court in church basketball. Like, I don't need to be handling the ball.
He's not a point guard and should not be treated as such. And you talked about with the text that I sent, but like I said, Bennett, he had the right. He could stink the joint up as long as he wanted. He earned that right by bringing a national championship to Charlottesville. And he could go, 8-24, and I'm not going to say fire that man because I believe that he could turn it around, and he's earned that right. Sanchez hasn't done that. He's not. I don't have any loyalty to him. I know he's been on staff. He left for a while, and then he's back on staff. He was on staff for a year or 2. I don't like what I'm seeing from the direction of the program. You're not Tony Bennett. So I know you kind of consider yourself Tony Bennett with minus 300 wins, but you can't be Tony Bennett because you're not Tony Bennett. And, not to say that Sanchez, I'm not saying he's not a good coach, but he's not a good coach I don't think for what we need right now. To me, Bennett's gone. You have to reset. It's a total reset. I mean, you can try to duplicate what Bennett did, but you're gonna fail. And it's gonna be a disappointment. And he's always gonna be looked at as compared to what did Tony do. And I don't know that Tony would do a whole lot with this team. And maybe he saw that too and said it's time for me to get out while I still can with a good name. And because, man, I think this is probably we're 7-5, Jeff?
7-5.
7-5. We got 19 games left. I mean,
what's our floor?
Would say at best we're a 17-win team. That's like a best case scenario. Before the year, I think it was 18.
So you're saying 9 ACC wins or 10 ACC wins?
10.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was my best.
That's best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
worst case, 12 wins.
So 17 wins will be what? 17 and 15? Is that something about right?
17 and 16, maybe. I think we had 30 games. Somehow we're off a little bit on the math because I think before the year I had figured out we had 30 games.
It might get a CBI bound.
And I hope we turn it down.
Yeah. So
this is not a tournament team. They're not. And some people say, well, they could peak at the right time, win the ACC tournament. No, they can't. They may not even get invited to the ACC tournament because you got to finish in the top. Like this year's different. Every team doesn't go. So I think is it 2 or 4 teams that stay home?
I can't recall.
It's a low number.
With the number of teams.
We could absolutely finish at the bottom of the ACC and not even get invited.
Zach Carey had an interesting tweet, or I don't even call it interesting. I was like, what the heck is he talking about? He said something about our tournament. I don't know if you saw it. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was like our tournament hopes were almost dashed on Sunday. I was like,
yeah, I did see that.
I'm like, and the replies were not kind. But in the NFL, when you fire typically. Now, as a Commander Redskin fan, we did not do this, but typically when you fire a defensive coach, the franchise goes to an offensive guy next time around. They like to switch it up. And I think Virginia, especially in the way recruiting and all is going on, the portal and all that now in NIL, what sells? Offense is going to sell. This kind of play is not going to sell to the recruits.
No.
I think we really need to, like you said, reset. And actually, and I know I said a few weeks ago, it's going to be quite the teardown. But actually, with the transfer portal, if you get the right guy in here, you can rebuild this thing quick. You could turn around in 1 year. You could bring in 8 guys in the transfer portal, and all of a sudden, and we might be pushing up and down the court looking like JR and company and Sean and looking a little Pete Gillen-ish like, and maybe we get the right guy in here who can win like that. And believe me, I love defense, but this ain't selling to these recruits.
No.
Listen, McNeely's got 1 year of eligibility left. He's such a super, super nice guy. Just like I'm sure, as I see, I mean, I don't know him. Just like I believe Sanchez is a super nice guy. However, man, do you want to waste your senior year when he's a how big is McNeely's what 6'6",
maybe
tall,
something like that, 6'4", 6'6", somewhere.
No, bigger guy who can shoot. Why don't you go somewhere to get yourself seen going up and down the court, firing up the three?
Here's the thing, though, Jeff. IMAC is probably an international player, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's not an NBA player, and I can tell you why. If Kyle Guy couldn't really make it and stick in the NBA, then IMAC has no chance.
Well, the only difference is their size. I would agree with you and the it factor that Kyle Guy has, but the size of McNeely, if he can get with the right in the right system in college, and get the opportunity to really shoot the ball and get open and play with other guys who can shoot, and then the offense is free flowing. I mean, you know what the NBA is now. I mean, look, your boy LeBron James is even saying, I mean, it's terrible. It's nothing but 3-point shots. So McNeely is a 3-point shooter who has size. I would give him the reason Kyle Guy didn't fit, which I still don't get, is his size. And they do have a difference in size. But I wouldn't give up on the dream if I'm IMAC. And I would leave Virginia and find a better spot for me after this season.
First of all, if I'm Blake Buchanan, if I'm Rhodey, I'm going to stay right there, because if they're willing to play me, I'm not going to get a chance to play anywhere better.
Well, correct, but if they could go to a ODU style program.
Don't disrespect ODU like that.
Listen,
That's disrespectful to ODU.
Don't make me pull up ODU. They might make Virginia look good. I can pull up the ODU numbers right now, and they'll make Virginia look good. But depending on if Sanchez is the guy, I'd probably stick at Virginia. But if Sanchez is not the guy, they might not have the option to stay at Virginia.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're operating under the belief that Sanchez will be one and done, and at this point, I think that here's the only way I can see him staying. We still don't know what's going on with Carla. Let's say she walks away. Let's say now Bennett becomes the AD, and then guess what? Sanchez ain't going no daggone where.
I know. Listen.
And then the program's going in the toilet.
Could they mutually part ways? Like Coach Bennett, you got to talk to your guy and say, listen, I'm not going to fire you ever, but you know what we need to do. Can you just go ahead and resign for us here? I'll take care of you. Yeah. I'll get you. You can come work for me up in the athletic department.
I'll get you another job even. I mean, like I said, I think Sanchez at the right place.
Correct.
I'm sure he could succeed. He was doing okay. Yeah. 5 years in, 4 years in, whatever it was at Charlotte, he was doing okay. His last team there was his most successful. I think they won 22 games or something like that. But he had some ugly seasons at Charlotte too. And he's all about process. And process was cool in the 90s.
Right.
Process might have been cool in 15, 10 years ago even. Bennett was about the process. But with the portal and NIL, nobody gives a crap about the process anymore. It's all about what product are you putting on the floor today. And today, the product is crap. Nobody wants to see it. It's horrible basketball. And it's not a good watch. Nobody wants to see what Virginia's putting on the floor. Not even, and at this point, not even the Virginia fans want to see it. I mean, did you see the crowd?
No, I know. Man.
It's pathetic. That's Virginia basketball. That's like the hill, the shining light on the hill there. I mean, and no, you look on the websites. People are giving away tickets to these lower level team games like American and that level of opponent. And granted, we're done with those guys now. They're all ACC games. Let's see what the crowd is for NC State.
Well, you could just look at the crowd for Memphis. And we know that students are gone, but the crowd, Memphis, that's a ranked opponent. Penny Hardaway coming in. But yeah, and also I think it was Augusta Free Press talking about an empty media credentialed area. Like nobody's coming to cover Virginia right now.
And yet we still didn't get a call.
But that's important. You need the media there to cover Virginia. You need somebody there because these athletes, they're looking to see who's being covered.
Yeah.
You got to have some coverage. Hey, we're there.
And nobody asked any tough questions. The guys that were in there, nobody asked like, hey, why didn't Day play any over the last, I don't know, what was it? 10 minutes?
Yeah.
8 minutes? Didn't play at all.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm kind of disgusted with it right now.
Yeah. But it's a long season in front of us. And like we said,
unfortunately, you're right.
I can't remember it's been a long time since I wasn't looking forward to I was looking forward to basketball until it's gotten in, and now it's like crap. I can't wait. Well, we like baseball, and I can't wait for football season.
Yeah.
And we'll do some previewing of I wouldn't say previewing of football, but discussions of the transfer portal and in a episode a little later this week. But these NIL donations, Virginia basketball is going to need to start getting a little bit of this too. We need a random donor or two, but we'll be running into the same thing, Jay, as football. And I'll get off of this here in just a second, but is it going to be the same coaching staff in basketball spending the money to buy these defensive players? and play, or not buy the defense players, buy the players and play defense.
The thing is, you can't make these guys play defense the way they want them to play because, they just can't. It's hard to pick it up that quickly. That pack line is the rotations. It's like you're all on a string, and when one person doesn't go in the right direction, the whole defense is broken. So,
yep, I think we need to. It's time to move on a little bit from some of the things we've done in the past. The past is the past. The past was great to us, but then also you have to adjust with the times. And
Jeff, if we just like you think about like if we thought it was great, man, Nintendo Entertainment System comes out, it don't get no better than that, and then Sega comes out, PlayStation comes out, and PlayStation 2, it's always something better, and we're just stuck. We're stuck trying to run the same stuff, and we don't have the horses to run that stuff.
No.
We just don't.
No. So before we go, though, if you are out there listening and you got a floor and a ceiling, let us know. Pop it in the comments here. What's the Who's floor? What's their ceiling for this season? Is Coach Sanchez the man for this job? Do you want Coach Sanchez to remain the head coach of Virginia? One thing he was put in a tough spot. He's 12 games into his head coaching career at Virginia. He got the job how many weeks before the season? A couple weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So put in a tough spot. I really believe he probably already knew this was coming, but it doesn't matter. He's put in a tough spot. So, tell us why we're wrong. Tell us why we're wrong, and this is going to be a bad year. Convince me, please. But, and you could say it's unfair to judge a man after 12 games as the head coach, but it's just so stale. The offense is so stale. We were supposed to have picking up the pace, and we're what are we 309 in pace of play? Milo, sorry, I think we both hit at the same time. We will see come ACC play how tough this squad really is. And you're right, Milo. I mean, if you want ACC play, I don't know how tough the ACC teams are. I think this is our benefit, is that we do have the ACC schedule, because I think the ACC is a little bit weaker. So we're playing a step above, maybe a half of a step above mid-major basketball teams, a lot of these games. If Virginia was playing in the Sun Belt with ODU, are we winning the Sun Belt?
Mm.
They've beaten every team they're supposed to beat.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. We'd be a contender, but I don't think we'd win it.
Yeah, we'll see what this team's made of in the ACC, but and we'll see if there's any improvement in front. Guys, if there could be any improvement, how the rotation goes. I don't see there's any way that Isaiah Robinson does not start hitting the floor consistently.
Isn't it Anthony?
I'm sorry, Anthony Robinson.
My frustration, Jeff, is not even the results. I can live with losing. What I can't live with is watching Rhodey throw the ball away.
Yeah.
Not hustle down the floor. He'll turn it over and just put his head down and jog.
Yeah.
And that goes all over me like scalding hot water, man. I can't stand to see that. And I think he could be great for us. Yeah, we agree.
Yep.
And
A-Rob is the guy. That's really, and he agrees with Orange Hat. That's Jay. That's Jay, by the way. Where did our names go?
That's a good question.
Disappeared. I don't know what happened here.
Yeah, I don't either.
But that's Jay on the right, Jeff on the left. Yes,
A-Rob is the guy. Here and run Rhodey out there and just let him screw up for 35. He plays some of the most minutes on the game. Look, there's been games where he was like the best player on the floor. Those are so few and far between. And like, I'd rather lose with Sharma. Let him get minutes. Let him go up and down the floor. Let's get Sharma out there. Let's play Day. Let's play IMAC. Let's play Kofi. Let's play Robinson. And let's play Saunders. And then the rest of the guys can try to get better in practice. And Tane, we'll go Tane. And then maybe they can earn some minutes. But I'm sorry. I'm watching Blake take shots like he's serving a volleyball. I mean, the way he throws, the way he shoots the ball, it's like a fire coming off the backboard.
I think Rudy's if he improved, but Day is definitely better at point.
I don't see the improvement. I mean, last year he had some games where he was okay.
I agree he's been better this year. I do agree, but he can't play point guard. He's not a point guard. He just can't play point guard. I think maybe
at the end of the year last year, he was completely shot, like had lost all confidence. So yes, he came back better this year than what he finished the year for sure.
With his size, like I'd almost rather him go down and play in the post against somebody defending him.
Oh, for sure. He could get some minutes at the 3. He's not as good as Tane, in my opinion.
Or even if he's playing at the 2 and getting some and posting down inside. I like the idea of playing A-Rob at center and Kofi at the same time.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I just, I don't think that Rhodey is an ACC caliber player. That's just my opinion. Now, the ACC is so down. It's farther than I've ever thought I would see it in my life. The SEC is now the ACC. Like, you look at the SEC, I think they have 5 of the top 7 teams ranked. I mean, that's like old school ACC, hotbed time, No, we can't compete. We can't compete with those teams.
No. Nope. Well, I think we've beat a dead horse, and there's a break here. New Year's Eve is the next game, December 31st versus NC State in Charlottesville. We'll see what the Hoos
and that's
bring.
A winnable game.
Yeah. Well, I think almost every ACC game is winnable. Almost. There's a few. But other than that, they're all winnable. So all right, Jay and I went to ODU. When we went to ODU, it's almost like going back to the ODU basketball games at the Norfolk Scope. Every game we played was winnable, and every game was losable.
Yeah.
So,
which is why I don't think there's going to be a few games. I don't think we're good enough I know we can't compete with Duke. I don't think we can compete with North Carolina.
Clemson's tough.
I was going to say Clemson's probably really pissed off at us for what we did to them last year, beating them. And they probably feel like they owe us. But I don't know. I think we got another comment. I haven't read it, but
I'm gonna put it up. Would you rather see us get killed in
the first round of the tournament? First of all, I think you're being mighty aggressive, even assuming we can make the NIT. No, I would rather make the NCAA tournament than a deep run. That's just my opinion. Put me in the big dance. Let me get excited. I wasn't really a fan of the first 4, but again, I'd rather play tournament games than.
Listen, we celebrated last year when we made the first 4.
Yes,
we came on live. We were dancing in the streets, and then we got it handed to us.
Yes.
But we exactly what you're saying, Milo. That's exactly what happened last year. I don't know if we'd have made a deep run to NIT though. It was a team that could potentially make a little run, or they could have potentially went out the first round of the NIT as well. So New Year's Eve, Virginia and NC State. Let's see what he says here. Did y'all see how much of an embarrassment? Oh no, we saw it.
Oh. Yeah, we definitely saw it. It wasn't what we were anticipating.
Yeah, we saw it.
I thought we had a good matchup in that game.
Jay, didn't you have on your bracket? I think you had Virginia like in the Elite 8.
Oh, God, please stop. He obviously doesn't watch the show because he doesn't know our names. So don't say something foolish like that. I did have us beating Colorado State.
I did too. That team, though, almost won the ACC tournament. Should have beat NC State. Would have kept them out of the big dance. And instead, We can't make foul shots, and then here we go. Yeah, we got to hand it to us, Milo. No question about it.
Yeah, that was one of the worst performances I think I've ever seen in my life.
Milo, just a quick question for you. Are you a student at Virginia or somewhere? You just look like he looks like a UVA student to me. I'd just be interested to know.
Yeah.
We appreciate you tuning in, Milo, and participating in the program.
Yep.
I don't know why our names are not showing up. No, he grew up in Charlottesville.
Grew up in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Awesome
Family
area.
from,
We love the area. We're in the 757 ourselves.
Still in high school. Okay.
Still in high school.
Hey,
very
listen,
knowledgeable for someone still in high school. So
Milo is Jay and I when we were in high school. We'd have been, they didn't have these podcasts then, but we'd have been tuned in and we'd have been typing in. Instead, we were calling into rest in peace, Tony Mercurio, 757 Sports radio.
Yeah.
But
often.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in for everyone tonight. We will be having a podcast, a non-live episode later in the week, talk about the transfer portal, and then we'll be back next week. I hope everybody has a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, and looking forward to the new year. It's been a good one for us as far as a podcast. We appreciate everybody who's tuned in and supported us and commented back and forth on social media. Hopefully we'll do a few more lives. Hopefully we can do some more lives after the games as well, so we can get everybody hyped up, excited.
That's
after
right.
L.
We can get some football players on like last year.
Oh yeah,
get some football players watching the basketball episodes.
I don't want to say fan of the show, fan of the program, but I'll say friend of the show. Tyler Neville was tuned in. He was just as hyped up over basketball as we were.
Yep.
I hope everyone has a great holiday, and we will see you guys later in the week.
Go Hoos.